What happens to your partner when you stop taking the initiative in a relationship? When you stop constantly catering to them and decide instead to take a step back, what's actually going on in their mind? I've noticed many people are afraid to pull back or cut contact in their relationships. They worry, if he barely reaches out now, won't he completely disappear if I stop trying? Ironically, it's exactly this fear that stops you from stepping back. But what's the result? Instead of valuing you more, they actually start taking you for granted, and eventually you find yourself stuck in a weaker position, completely losing control of the relationship. In today's video, I'll break this down from a psychological perspective, and once you fully understand it, you'll see exactly why I always suggest pulling back or cutting off contact. First, you need to realize that stepping back is essentially about self-respect. It's not just about your pride, it's a strategic balance between who takes the initiative and who follows in emotional interactions. From a psychological standpoint, humans naturally experience something called loss aversion. What does this mean? Even if your partner isn't deeply passionate about the relationship, when you suddenly withdraw from their life and break the familiar patterns, they instinctively feel they've lost something. This sense of loss triggers anxiety, causing them to reevaluate your relationship. Get it? In every relationship, there's usually one person who initiates and one who responds. Ever notice how amazing it feels when someone is pursuing you? The person being chased experiences a special kind of power. It's like you suddenly have this magical remote control. You get to decide when to meet, when to respond, or even whether to keep the connection alive at all. This power comes directly from their constant attention and validation. How do they show this validation? By consistently inviting you out, texting enthusiastically, or complimenting you regularly. They're actively expressing their affection. This kind of validation acts like a protective umbrella, effectively blocking negative emotions that pop up from time to time. We all face emotional struggles at some point, whether from childhood trauma or challenges we've encountered while growing up. These subtle influences often cause people to fall into self-doubt, feeling inadequate, or even believing they're undeserving of love. When we're trapped in these negative feelings, validation from others is like warm sunlight. It brightens our inner darkness and pushes away negativity. This is exactly why so many people crave intimacy. It lets us truly feel valued, boosting our self-esteem. But one day, if that validation, your sense of power, is suddenly withdrawn, those suppressed negative feelings burst out like a volcano. You start questioning yourself. Am I not good enough? Were all those sweet words lies? Was I just being played? Did I say something wrong last time? Did they see something in me that turned them off? Your mind floods with doubts and insecurities. This dynamic becomes very clear in relationships. When someone who's been chasing you stops or begins pulling away, no longer messaging first, disappearing from your social media, or suddenly being too busy, you immediately feel the difference. On the other hand, let's say you've been pursuing someone who does like you. Your enthusiastic chasing can actually make them suppress some of their feelings, making it hard for them to realize their genuine attraction. So when you stop chasing, stop initiating contact, they suddenly feel that gap clearly. Now, driven by these negative emotions, they'll turn around and start chasing you instead. Why? Because deep down, they're eager to resolve those uncomfortable feelings. In other words, they crave validation from you. They need to know if they still have that power, that status in your eyes. They desperately want reassurance that you still like them and that you'll give them the same validation as before. It's like painkillers. When something hurts, you naturally take medicine to relieve it. In this scenario, your validation is exactly that medicine, the comfort they desperately seek. Suddenly, you'll see their behavior change dramatically. They become proactive, carefully planning ways to see you, thoughtfully arranging dates, and acting more romantic than ever before. They try to win back your approval through romantic gestures. Their increased initiative directly reflects the intensity of their inner turmoil. The deeper their emotional pain, the more proactive they'll be. This behavior reveals just how much they crave validation, desperately trying to regain the sense of worth they once had with you. Make sense? If you have more relationship questions, feel free to talk to me.